So Netflix is currently being sued for spying on its users. Now, I am all for Netflix getting investigated, but the solution to this I feel like is going to be bad. So the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against Netflix, alleging that Netflix illegally collects and profits from user data, especially from children. I think you guys know where this is going. Without permission, and tricks users while making its service highly addictive. Data collection and spying, Netflix tracks extensive user information, including what people watch, what they like, devices used, home networks for both adults and children, and then shares or sells this data to other companies to profile people and generate billions in revenue. Texas says Netflix has lied for years by claiming it does not collect or share much user data. They can get in line because pretty much every single major company says, so don't worry, your data is safe with us. We're not going to be sharing it to anybody, so just go ahead and hand over an ID. And then in terms of kids' profiles, Netflix claims kids' profiles do not receive targeted ads, but the lawsuit says that Netflix still uses the same tracking tools to monitor and study children's activity. Addictive design, the app uses features like autoplay to continuously play shows, keeping users, including children, watching for long periods. This point I find pretty funny because autoplay results in addictive design. Pretty sure you can just turn off the autoplay, but anyways, the legal basis is this violates the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act. The lawsuit describes Netflix as a company that logs extensive user actions, profits from them, and sometimes streams movies, stating, when you watch Netflix, Netflix watches you. That is pretty damn creepy. But anyways, Paxton says Netflix has built a surveillance program designed to illegally collect and profit from Texans' personal data without their consent. Netflix is not the ad-free and kid-friendly platform it claims to be. The lawsuit asks the court to halt the illegal data collection and sharing, require Netflix to disable autoplay by default on kids' profiles, and make other changes. It also requests a jury trial. So before we actually get into the lawsuit itself, I do want to talk about Ken Paxton because we've actually mentioned him on the channel before. About 2 weeks ago, I made a video called Discord is Cooked where I was talking about the fact that Discord is repeatedly getting sued, and one of the people that are actually looking into Discord is Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, who has also sued Roblox in the past as well. This guy is a huge proponent and supporter of ID age verification. He's one of the people who defended the Texas law that requires age verification for adult websites in the Supreme Court of the United States. So it went all the way up as high as you can go in the judicial system in the country, and he actually was able to get his horrible law passed and defended. So basically, he wants ID age verification, and he wanted it on adult websites. But as we all know, and as we've all seen throughout the last year or two, this is a huge slippery slope. It never just stays on the adult websites. This has nothing to do with protecting kids from seeing bad material. This only has to do with collecting everybody's data and having mass surveillance throughout the world. So keep in mind that it is this guy, Ken Paxton, that is doing this lawsuit against Netflix. So what I can only assume, I'm not going to make it the title of the video or something because I don't have any proof yet, but what I can only assume and predict here is that Netflix is actually going to be having ID age verification soon because attorney generals like this guy and other corrupt mass surveillance supporters like him are going to be forcing Netflix to have ID age verification to, quote, protect the kids. But anyways, he actually made a tweet about this, and I love how he said breaking, like he broke news about himself, I guess. I just sued Netflix for spying on Texas kids and consumers by illegally collecting users' data without their knowledge or consent. And keep in mind, right, him and other attorney generals are going ahead and suing all these random companies like Discord, Meta, whatever, and forcing them to have ID age verification on their platforms. And yet they are also suing these same people for illegally collecting users' data. So why the hell are you guys forcing people who are already illegally collecting users' data and sending them to God knows who? Why are you now making it so those same companies are now going to be having access to all of our biometric data and super sensitive information? It seems completely counterintuitive to me. But anyways, let's read a statement here. So here it says, Attorney General Ken Paxton sues Netflix for spying on Texas kids and consumers by illegally collecting users' data without their knowledge or consent. For years, Netflix represented to consumers that it did not collect or share extensive user data. In reality, Netflix is a logging company that records and monetizes billions of behavioral events and occasionally streams movies. Netflix uses intentional engineering to track and log users' viewing habits, preferences, devices, household networks, application usage, and other sensitive behavioral data. Every interaction on the platform becomes a data point revealing information about the user. This tracking applied to not only adults' accounts, but also kids' profiles. Netflix has then disclosed this information to commercial data brokers and advertising technology companies, where it was combined with data collected from other platforms to build detailed consumer profiles. Netflix users' data is essentially shopped across big ad tech shadowy network. The company earns billions of dollars every year from secretly selling consumer data. The company also designs its platform to be addictive. This is accomplished by using features that are designed to manipulate users to take action Netflix wants them to take. For example, the autoplay function. I love how they're really focusing on the autoplay function here. Creates a continuous stream of content intended to keep users, including children, watching for extended periods of time. Netflix has built a surveillance program designed to illegally collect and profit from Texans' personal data without their consent, and my office will do everything in our power to stop it. Netflix is not the ad-free and kid-friendly platform it claims to be. Instead, it has misled consumers while exploiting their private data to make billions. I will continue to work to protect Texas families from deceptive practices by big tech companies and ensure that corporations are held accountable under Texas law. So what the lawsuit seeks is to stop the unlawful collection and disclosure of user data, require Netflix to disable autoplay by default on kids' profiles, and secure other injunctive relief and civil penalties. Now, I feel the same way about this lawsuit that I did with the whole Discord and Roblox lawsuit. I think those companies are incredibly shady. I think they're doing a lot of bad things, and I especially know that that is the case with Discord and Roblox. So I do believe they should be formally investigated by the government, and there should be action taken against those three companies. However, I already know and I've already seen that this guy and other attorney generals around the country right now can only think of one solution to go ahead and hold these companies accountable, and that is, unfortunately, ID age verification. As we've already talked about, this guy is such a huge supporter of ID age verification that he took a case to the Supreme Court of the United States. That's how much he wants mass surveillance throughout the world. And it's just funny because they were saying this whole thing about Netflix illegally collecting user data. And as I said earlier, I don't have any hardcore proof, but I'll put out a prediction right now that they are going to force Netflix to have ID age verification. That is going to be my prediction. I assume that that'll happen at least by the end of this year or maybe next year. Now, Netflix has already responded to this potential lawsuit, and basically they had this guy, Jamil Walker, a spokesperson for Netflix, said the suit lacks merit and is based on inaccurate and distorted information. Netflix takes our members' privacy seriously and complies with privacy and data protection laws everywhere we operate, Walker said in a statement sent to Forbes. We look forward to addressing the Texas Attorney General's allegations in court and further explaining our industry-leading, kid-friendly parental controls and transparent privacy practices. Now, again, like I said, I just want to reiterate, right? I'm sure Netflix is guilty of spying on customers and doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm sure they're doing tons of shady activity on their service. However, the whole ID age verification thing is pretty much worse than anything that Netflix could be doing, because the proposal is, hey, to keep kids safe on Netflix, Discord, Roblox, or whatever, let's have everybody hand over an ID and make it so they are susceptible to possibly a gigantic data leak. It's already happened with Discord, but it seems like all these attorney generals don't care. This same attorney general, Ken Paxton, as well as others, have already had interest in looking into Discord as well. And yet it seems like they refuse to acknowledge how dangerous that'll be because there's so many IDs that have already been leaked in Discord's age verification last year. I've already said this many times on the channel, but I believe it was way more than 70,000 IDs that got leaked. But either way, it's going to be worse now. Oh my God, they're really paywalling this article, huh? Wow. But anyways, either way, it's going to be way worse now because now Discord is going to be doing global age verification. Roblox is doing global age verification. If Ken Paxton gets his way, and again, I assume this is what his goal is, Netflix is going to have global age verification too. So imagine if Netflix's third-party vendor gets hacked. It will be really, really bad. And another point that I'd like to add that proves that these attorney generals don't actually care about the kids, because a lot of times when they force all these companies to have ID age verification like Discord and Roblox, they refuse to acknowledge that they have either worked with in the past or still currently work with Persona, which is an ID age verification vendor that has already had so many controversies, so many faulty security issues. I have not heard a single attorney general saying, oh yeah, and we also need to make sure that the ID age verification vendor is actually credible. We need to make sure that they aren't someone that just gets hacked all the time or somebody that's already giving all this information to all these other trusted third parties or whatever. I mean, dude, like we were talking about only a few weeks ago, France's entire government ID portal has been hacked and all that information is just out there. If the government can get hacked and all that information can be taken over, what's going to stop somebody from hacking Discord? I mean, it's already happened, so nothing. What's going to stop somebody from hacking Roblox? And now, what is going to stop somebody from hacking Netflix? Netflix, I'm sure, is doing a lot of shady activity, but it does not warrant ID age verification when Netflix has all these parental controls to keep the kids safe on the platform. So the ID age verification does nothing but just have mass surveillance throughout the world. If you guys want to investigate Netflix just to make sure that they aren't doing anything wrong, like illegally collecting and profiting from user data, I am all for that. But if Ken Paxton's solution to this, which again, I 100% predict that this will be the case, is going to be ID age verification on Netflix, then he is deluded and he does not care about protecting kids on the platform at all. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the situation in the comments. It seems like Netflix is spying on you, but that doesn't mean that they should have ID age verification like Ken Paxton would probably want it to. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.